Hello and welcome to this YouTube video, to this YouTube channel. My name is Grace and I'm so thankful to have you here with me today. If this is your first time here on this channel, make sure you check out all the other videos I have on an enormous amount of topics, mostly spiritual, mostly in regards to the healing journey. I do have my puppy here with me and he's being a little rotten, as you can see. So hopefully I'm not too distracted. So today I'm so excited to talk about geometries, symbols, and shapes and how the body really craves these harmonizing symbols and tools of alchemy that really exist in nature. They exist all around us. Our body craves them. And it's kind of similar to like the frequency or hertz that is very popular on YouTube, or with the tuning forks or with the sound bowls. There's sounds that really are harmonic to our healing process. And the same goes for symbols or images that we see, or even sounds, right, that we hear, taste. There's so much, right? The body is so intricate. But today I want to focus in on, these symbols, these geometries, and how they make us feel and how they're very supportive for our spiritual evolution and ascension process, and just feeling good in the body, feeling held, and also clearing the self, clearing the body, all of this stuff. This is gonna be a study session. So I'm gonna have my computer sharing my screen with you, and we're gonna look at some images. We're gonna look at the Amarea flame. We're gonna look at some things that might be deemed a bit more advanced. They are advanced in the spiritual evolution of learning. So if you are not at that space where you want to look at sacred geometry, you want to look at Amarea flames, you want to look at the light body field, you want to look at how the body interacts with geometries, with shapes, with symbols and codexes, this might not be for you. It might go over your head, which is totally fine. But I invite you, if you feel called to join me. I'm not going to speak in like an advanced terminology. I like to keep things pretty simple. So yeah, join me in this amazing journey. Awesome. So this is what I wanted to talk about in today's video. We have a lot of topics, but we'll just go through some of them, most of them, if they become apparent as important in the field. But I wanted to talk about the spiral, the triangle, the figure eights, the circles, and how these are all intricate to the harmonious embodiment of health, vitality, and creational being. Nature also really loves numbers. So you'll see numbers like 3, as well as mathematics and nature kind of follows the Fibonacci sequence, which we can look into together. The figure 8 symbol is very powerful. And I'm just going to talk about this beautiful dream I had the last night, and it really showed me how important this is to embodiment, is working with geometries, working with spirals, working with these codexings that nature really has evolved around, and that brings us deeper into vitality and health within self, with clearing our light body fields when we use these symbols to support us in this way. So there are very powerful geometries like the spiral, like the triangle, like the circle, like the figure 8. And these are basically codes of embodiment, codes of creation. Even galaxies, you'll see that they spiral. I think this is like a gecko or something, one of those lizards' tails. But this exists in so many ways, seashells. And this is the Fibonacci sequence, where this side is twice as big or 3 times as big. I think it's 3 times as big as this side. And this side is 3 times as big as this side. And then it goes in and in and in. This sequence is something that nature really likes to follow, which is very powerful. But let's see what else. Oh yeah, of course, the universe. So this is a seashell. This is clouds creating formations of the spiral going inwards. And this is the universe creating spirals going inwards. And I love talking about the spiral. Like, it's one of my favorite topics of conversation is the spiral when it comes to spirituality and healing and evolution and self. Because it really just displays, you know, that you can be riding the high, you can be way up here feeling so good about life and about self. And then as the current pulls you deeper into self, and per se that this is source, this is God, this is self, you know, as you dive deeper into self, you're pulled into the depths of your being, into the harshness, into the shadow. And then you come back up, and then it's just a continuous evolution of self and deepening of self, and you go deeper and deeper into the spiral. This is a beautiful image as well, the snowflake. And yeah, like nature is just so bountiful in its geometries and its expression of self. And I really just invite you to like notice when you're in nature and you see these spirals, you see these circles, you see how nature like replicates itself all over, because it's so advanced in its workings. It's so intentional in how it moves itself. And it's very, you know, it's impactful on our psyche when we look at images like this versus when we look at images that are unsymmetrical or sporadic or fractaled or like not harmonious to perceive. Another thing that we can look at is the triangle in nature. Mountains, leaves. So this is actually in accordance to the teardrop. I love looking into the teardrop, and I actually made a beautiful reel. I made a reel about the teardrop, and the teardrop is made up from 3 points, but it also curves at the bottom, and it's very soft in its creationality. But this is kind of formulated around the idea of the 3, and you know, mountains, leaves, yeah, sequences like this where there are points, like the eye is just drawn to these points like this, and this is how nature exists, and nature is just so beautiful and how it, yeah, this is a beautiful geometry in nature. The hexagon, it's so powerful. Yeah, you can see it on the turtles. You can see it on in rock formations, pineapples, it looks like. Yeah, there's just numbers. There's numbers and sequences that nature really loves to work with. And it's so powerful to, you know, notice this because it gives us access into ourself. Like nature is always replicating in coherence to self, and we are a replication of nature because we are a part of nature. And so when we learn about, you know, these sequencings inside of nature, we can learn deeper about our geometries inside of self and what the body likes to receive and what the body does not like to receive. So it's a sacred code of health, vitality, and creational being because we are, again, we are just so connected to nature. We're so connected to these symbols, these numbers. Yeah, Donna Eden has this, these energy sequences that you can do with your hands and to allow the body to receive information from its external environment and internal environment. When we cross our arms, when we cross our legs, she says that the reason that we do this in our body is because the body craves to be crossed. It craves this kind of sequencing like this. Or when we cross our legs, it's actually because the body's trying to weave itself into alignment and into cohesion with self. So I know that this is a very closed off position, but sometimes when we do that, we're trying to create comfort for the body, right? We're trying to allow the body to feel safe in itself. So that's a very natural thing to do with the figure 8 symbol, is that the body is trying to weave. So the figure 8 symbol is made from X's that cross and then they connect at the top and they go down, right? So when we cross our body, when we cross our legs, there's a reason for it. And so she likes to work with the idea that you can go like this with your hands and you can create figure 8 symbols. And this is very healing for your field because it naturally clears you of density. Your body likes the weaving of this type of energy. And this actually, the figure 8 is 2 teardrops. connected, which I was just talking about earlier with the leaf, right? With the 3 and then the top, but it's soft. The figure 8 is 2 of those connected in a closed circuit. But it's just, it creates cohesion in the body. So if you ever feel like there's too much energy around you or you need to clear your space, I would suggest that you try this because it actually feels really good, and you can do it wherever you want to. You can do it over your like third eye, you can do it over your heart. I love the figure 8 symbol. And I love working with the teardrop. Like I just am obsessed with the teardrop, and I'll show you why, because the teardrop is really connected. And I'll just show you the teardrop symbol. I mean, everybody knows it, but just to be clear, it is, why is it so hard to find right now? So this is the teardrop, right? And you can also see this in fire. Classic fire shape where it goes down and then it peaks up. You can also see this in DNA where it goes down and it peaks up. You can also see this in the eyeball. You can also see this in a leaf. Right, you have the peak, the sides, the peak, the sides. So yeah, and then of course the figure 8 symbol. Oops. Highly recommend DuckDuckGo, guys. And the figure 8 symbol is this one, right? So I don't know why this is all knots or infinity. Perfect, like this, right? So this is the closed circuit of 2 teardrops basically merging together. And it's very potent. It's very potent to perceive, to look at, to work with these symbols in our daily lives and what they are speaking to us, because in the higher dimensional realms of healing and advancing your light body field, you will see geometries and codexes that try to speak to you or portray an energy to you. And one of them that has been portrayed to me is the teardrop. And it's actually in coherence to the 3 flame, which I'm going to talk about later on in this video. The 3 flame founder codes, I think it's called. I don't like to get too technical. So yeah, when you advance in your light body work, there are teachers like the Amara. She is on Instagram. You can find her work. She creates like these light codes sequences, and they're so beautiful and profound. But she works with them as a means of like connecting to your higher self or connecting to a higher dimensional frequency codex that contains information for us to perceive when we look at this image. And that is what symbols do for us, right? Yeah, there are symbols that the body naturally craves. And I had a dream last night about these symbols, particularly the spiral going downwards. It wasn't like this, it was like this. And then, yeah, it was just very beautiful to perceive, because it was like my team and my guides were showing me how I could ingest these symbols. Literally, like they were showing me like ingesting them and like absorbing them fully. And it was so beautiful, because that's like what is supportive and healing the body. When we heal the body and we need tools to support us in that processing, you know, these symbols are very supportive. So this is one energy healing technique, the Celtic weave. The method is simple. This is created by Donna Eden. I will put this down below, but basically you're just moving with your body. You're doing energy work with your body. And it is, you know, intended to bring harmony, balance, unity, and rhythm to the energetic field. So these symbols, when we look at them, they impact our energetic field, they impact our psyche, they impact what we're perceiving, how we feel about it. And they also impact our light body on a deeper realm, you know, when you start interacting with these formations and symbols in a dance, and with your hands, with your fingers. It's very powerful to use them to our benefit, because nature exists with us So we want to mimic what nature is doing, right? Like nature is in vitality. I mean, obviously we're different beings at the end of the day, but we are in oneness with what the codings that we hold are. So we can just work together in that way, right? Okay, I want to go into the Amaria flame. Oh, and then also I'll show you guys. This is mathematics and nature. So this is a little bit about the Fibonacci sequence. So this is a pattern of numbers in which each number equates to the sum of the previous two. So there, this man is, or this writer is talking about the sunflower in particular, but you can also see it in pine cones and pineapples. So the Fibonacci sequence is a pattern of numbers in which each number equates to the sum of the previous two figures within the sequence. So I'll just look this up really quickly. Fib. Cool, yeah. So it looks like this, and this literally looks like a seashell, right? Dogs, bro. Oh, I have been holding this with me as we've been talking. This is like one of my favorite tools to use and symbols. I mean, it's a seashell, right? But it has like the Fibonacci sequence in it. And it's so, I just love it. It's very oceanic. It's very celestial. Okay, I'm just gonna let him do that because we're almost done here. Bruh, this is pretty funny. Oh God. Okay, anyways, okay, that's the Fibonacci sequence. So this is the Ascension Glossary. I mentioned this on my last video. Again, this is if you are ready for this type of information. This is very galactic, celestial, high dimensional information. You know, when I had my awakening, I kind of was just dropped right into this information. So it depends what you're willing to witness, because when you start interacting with fields as such, you are interacting with, you know, you are kind of consenting to have your psyche and your mental body opened up to topics and conversations that you might have not been familiar with before, like negative aliens, like you know, satanic ritual abuse, all of these things that are going on behind the scenes that we don't really have access to on a very conscious matrix level. But I wanted to bring in the three. So I wanted to see if the Amaria Founder Flames would show up here, because it is a thing. Threefold font. So that's actually what this is. That's what this is. This is like what her website is basically based off of, is this. And this is the flame, right? So you have the golden flame, you have the emerald, and you have the magenta. It's so the magenta is the father arc, is what I'm seeing right here. The blue is the mother arc, and the universal trinity. What's the gold? Oh, the gold ray is the son of Christos. Beautiful. So yeah, like the reason that I feel that this is important, and this is why I'm so deeply connected to the teardrop, is because the flame is basically like the energy of the teardrop, right? It's very alchemical, it's very divine in its blueprint, and it is connected to the universal consciousness that we are working with at this time. Yeah, so I highly encourage that you check out this website here, because it's very powerful. The three universal founder rays. So this is like the light fields that we would be working with when you connect to like the golden ray or the magenta or the blue. When they come through in your field, you are in part working with these energies. And yeah, they are the trinity that make up the threefold founder flame of our entire universe time matrix, universal time matrix. So yeah, it's very powerful stuff, guys. But that's basically all that I wanted to talk about within this, the geometries and the symbols and the codexings, and how it's all very powerful and connected. And I also wanted to say, you know, that as you do your own research, some of these symbols go way back. Like the spiral for sure, which has forever been encoded as sacred. You can see this like very, very far back. Our ancestors were working with it, even stuff. Of course, we only have a very brief introduction to history because so much of our history has been erased and lost, unfortunately. But that's why it's so important that we dive into our spiritual creationality and like meditation and allowing our remembrance to be unlocked for us in our higher heart. But there are also less common symbols and shapes like the teardrop that are extremely powerful and potent, like we talked a lot about today. So yeah, guys, allow these symbols and these codexings to really work for you. Allow them to support you in your beingness. And I invite you to look up the Donna Eden information that I shared. I invite you to look up Ascension Glossary. I invite you to look at sacred geometry as a very powerful thing to research because it really just unlocks deeper remembrance. And this is why people have such a good time and such spiritual experiences on shrooms, because everything starts melding together. And that is the reality all the time. So yeah, just like get in that space if you want to. It's a vibe. And I thank you so much for being here with me today, for enjoying this video. If you did, if you liked it, please subscribe to the channel and like the video below. Please leave your comments and suggestions for more videos. And I wish you so much love and abundance, and I will see you next time.